Alright, this is Rob Fraven, aka Nefarious Yordle, and in this one we're analyzing an op.gg page, so let's just get right into it. Look at this one. I'll just move this along. Look at this. This is a guy who just played it. What I wanted to focus on in this one is comparing this guy's page to my own page. So if you look at my own page, I have been out autofilled support a couple of times. Now, if you are in an elo that's close to your target elo, you can dodge those games, but I know that wasn't true, and I actually have some supports in my champion pool. I make sure that I have a few champions on every role that I can play, even though, of course, it depends on why I'm playing the game, right? Like, I wouldn't always go for the support game, but in this one I do, and I actually won both of them, so I actually climbed a little bit because of that. So that's fine. So my off games here are not bad, right? I just played 2 of them, which is not a lot, and they were both wins. So those are 2 things that are good, right? Like, first of all, you shouldn't all the time just play these super random roles, and when you do want to make sure that you can actually play them well. If you think you really can't play them, it's fine to dodge every now and then. It's not a crime to dodge, right? Make sure you don't do it in the last second. If you are a person that knows you're gonna dodge because you don't like your role or whatever, right? And you're gonna wait till the last second, there is a special place in hell for you. Like, come on. Dodge at the start if you can, dude. Like, don't waste that time. Anyway, so I'm just moving on here. The biggest thing you see here in terms of play volume is I have, what is it? Half of my games are on one champion. And then you see that 1/7 of my games are on another champion. And it's like, I play a couple of top laners and a couple of junglers, right? I play Warwick jungle, I play Shyvana jungle, I play Sek jungle, and if it's good, I play Vi jungle. Maybe there's a couple of ones that I missed, but I just have a couple of junglers that I keep spamming over the different patches, and I just pick the ones that are best, right? Like, in top lane, I do the same thing, right? Because I've played top lane longer, I have a lot of champions, but I mainly play a couple of ones each patch that I think are good. So that means in this one, it's Darius, and Gnar, and Kled. Right, and I just play those 3 champions. And look at that. Those are my 7 champions this patch. I haven't played anything else. If you look at my other account, I've focused on playing top lane there. Now, these Gnar stats are atrocious. I'm working on it very hard, I promise. But if you just look objectively, right? Like, you look at my Darius, Gnar, and Kled. Top 3 champions. I just said Darius, Gnar, and Kled. Those are the 3 champions I play on last patch, right? On the last couple of patches, that's all I played. And then I don't know what kind of brain lag I had that made me play Renekton. That is a mistake in my opinion, to just play something random like that all of a sudden. But anyway, this is my general approach, and this is brain lag, right? And then I got autofill twice and 50% win rate. I didn't lose games with that, right? And once my Warwick was banned, you'd expect to see this kind of stuff. Like, I've been top jungle and then autofill support, right? And that's what you see here. So I have top lane. Top lane is my main role, jungle. I got that 4 games, and I won 3 of them, right? With the 2 junglers that I play on the other account. So you can see how I have a very consistent champion pool, and I stick with that, except for those 2 games where I had brain lag and played Renekton for some reason, right? So, very, overall though, very consistent, right? And this is what I advise, right? That you just build a champion pool that you can sort of cycle through over the different patches, right? And you don't go for 12 different champions every single time, and you just play something else, play this, play that. The lower your play volume is, the more you should stick to one champion, right? So this guy doesn't have a lot of games in this patch. That's fine. I'm not forcing you to play this shitty... no, it's not a shitty game. I don't force you to play this game, but if you do, you want to make sure that if you don't play it a lot, then, you know, that you stick to one champion. This guy, Varus, AD carry. 50%, so he didn't climb with that. 9 wins and 9 losses, so he played that a lot, apparently. And then he plays Pantheon, top lane, with a bad win rate and bad statistics. It doesn't seem like he knows how to play Pantheon then, because, you know, you can get Challenger with Pantheon, so if you die a shit ton of times, it means you probably died to gank. I mean, I presume you can't lose the 1v1, you die to ganks a lot, you don't know about the level 3 gank. You should just work on that. You should work on one lane and get used to one lane's timers before you get used to another lane's timers, right? Oh, and then you just play Swain. Oh, and you actually won a couple of games, but it's 5 games, so who knows if it's luck or not. Your statistics are just mediocre. Just nothing. This tells me nothing, right? 5 games with these statistics, I have no idea. And then you play some jungle Graves. And then you play some mid lane Ahri and some jungle Xin Zhao, and you play one game of Poppy and you lose, and one game of Yasuo and you lose, and one game of Nunu and you lose. It's like, what? What are you doing? Just stick to one role. Just pick one role and a secondary, and then maybe you get autofilled. If you're bad at the autofilled role, you can dodge it, right? If you don't mind, then you can play it. But if you're bad at the autofilled role, dodge it. Play your two main roles. Play one champion, or at least a consistent champion pool in that, right? In that one main role, especially if you're playing very little. And you can see this guy's not following any of that advice, right? Any of that. None of it. And then you see in this one, the previous patch, he actually had a higher play volume, but he was gold 3, right? You do have to remember here, he climbed from gold 3 to platinum 3, so these statistics are a little bit inflated. Oh, sorry, I didn't notice this. This guy just goes into ranked and plays a game of Fiora, and then plays a game of Ziggs, and then plays a game of Yorick, and plays a game of Riskgrant, and plays a game of Granger, and Graves, and then Lulu, Orianna, Agolio, Urgot, LeBlanc, Pantheon, Olaf, Kha'Zix, Kindred, Shyvana, Nunu, Amumu, Elias, Karma, Janna, Vicar, Elias, Xin Zhao, Udyr, Darius, Lee Sin, Ezreal, Gnar, Corki, Soraka, Jarvan, Cho'Gath. These are all highly specific champions, by the way. Like a champion like Gnar, I've been playing it for 150 games, and I'm still working on it. Like, it's not nearly where I want it to be. And it's like, and then he plays Ivern, super specific champion. He does very poorly on it. No wonder. Fizz, really specific champion, does really poorly on it. Kled, really specific, but it's also super strong, so he did somewhat fine on it. You can just see this guy doesn't give a shit about improving, right? It's like, sure, these are very low volume games, but I still disagree with the fact that they're all different champions. At least if you're gonna get autofill, just play one champion 10 times in one role, right? Like me, I play Caitlyn this patch when I'm autofilled AD carry every single time. I don't deviate and suddenly play, I don't know, a Twitch. No, I just play Caitlyn. Caitlyn. Get used to the traps, get used to the EQ combo, get used to whatever, right? Like how long does a trap take to reload? You have to sort of develop muscle memory for that. There's all these specific things about these champions, and he's just not doing that. Like, yeah, you have some decent success on Lucian and Twitch, and I guess even Varus. I mean, you're not successful with it, but I mean, those are flaws in your actual gameplay. Like, you're not really climbing with most of the champions that you actually play a lot. Like 53%. If I have 8 kills every single game on an AD carry and I've died 5 times, so you also already die a lot for an AD carry, but sure, let's just let that slide for a second. You should be able to just get the turret and then rotate and go somewhere else. If I can bet you right now, I bet this guy is the kind of guy that gets a tier 1 turret, stays for a Nave, stays for a runner wave, and then by that time you get a 4-man bot and you die and the lead's kind of thrown. You just walk back into the lane, extend past their turret, and they do the exact same thing. They 4-man you, and you maybe get 1 or 2 kills in return. You see what I mean, right? You just don't extend your lead. You don't play the macro game. You don't seem to... You play the game on autopilot. When you play, I don't know, 400 games in ranked, and in 400 games in a competitive environment, you climb from gold to platinum, right? 400 games. Gold to platinum. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't think that is a very effective way of climbing. Like, you should be able, depending on your age and your cognitive capacities, you should be able to get to something like Diamond 5 if you play 400 games of ranked in a season. Because at that point, it's like, if you're playing strong champions, it's very hard to play poorly enough not to get there, right? It's like, if you get some basic sense of macro play, and some basic sense of the game in general, like, you should be able to get a certain rank, and then at that rank, you start meeting other players that do the exact same thing, and it becomes substantially harder. It becomes exponentially harder to climb, right? So, when it takes you very long to climb in one of the lower tiers, it's not a good sign. It should take you very long to climb in the higher tiers, right? Like, it can take you a very long time to climb from Master to Challenger. Like, it can be a super, years of practice can take it, and some people just don't get there. They don't have the improvement mindset that you require for it. But if you're in platinum or gold, that shouldn't be a problem, right? So that's it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys understand my commentary. So my main point here was that you have to build a champion pool and stick with it. Just rotate it through the patches. Like the champions in that champion pool that are good, you have to actually spam them, right? You can't just change up your champion every time, right? And you have to make sure that, how do I say this? I have to word this a little bit carefully. If you're not climbing after 400 games in ranked, you have to kind of reconsider. Like if I look at my NAR, right? My NAR has substantial problems, and I know that my NAR is a big problem, and I need to fix my NAR. I need to fix it because it's broken, right? You should not have a 43% win rate after 70 games. It's broken. Even though NAR is a bad top laner, that is still a problem. I should still be able to get 55% to 60% easily, right? It's in Platinum 5, mind you, right? So I should be able to do that. I should be able to just ward up against a jungler, shove a wave, back off, stay in the river, and just not die early game. So I realized, I analyzed my games, and I just look, like, what's going on? Is it the early, mid, or late game? And I just look at my early game, and I die every single time. And I just noticed that in the mid game, I start taking over. I start picking people off and going for crisp engages, right? So once you notice a problem, you're looking for solutions. And that's why you have to look at your OP.GG, spam a champion, and then if you notice that champion is working, you're climbing. And if you notice that champion is not working, you know that there's a problem to fix. So either way, you need to spam champion. If I played 20 games with Gnar, do you think I would have known that my early game is a problem with Gnar consistently after a longer period of time? You think I would know that? No, of course not. I would have no idea, right? That's why you need to spam champions, right? So that's it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something from it. Build champion pools is really useful. Don't spam champions. It's not going to give you the long-term satisfaction. You might feel like playing Fiora suddenly one game, but overcome that urge, and in the long term you will find you will get more satisfaction out of noticing that you're actually learning the game. Like you're noticing that you actually figured out how parts of your champion work that you didn't know before, and that feels good. So just delay the instant gratification. Like put that away if you can, and just go for the long-term satisfaction. Spam a champion and improve at the game. That's it for this one. See you in the next one.